Well, Mr. Shehu, is that what your party is driving at? Or just before we attack that issue, you know, let's quickly clarify this. Mr. Metu also says that on top of this, because you say that, you know, you worked with certain people in your committee who were not members of your party. He says that on top of this release that was made by your party in terms of the names of those working in those committees, that you have there names of members of the APC working in certain committees for the presidential committee, something along those lines. But you seem that you were very categorical that these people were members of the APC.
And with all respect to the PDP publicity director, with all due respect to Mr. Metu, he missed the point. He missed the point because that statement, that published statement, never said all of these members are APC members.
So could that have been a mistake on your part? Unfortunately, I mean, I can't see that here, but could it also be an error?
No, we could not have said that. We could not have said that because we knew that the people who were being appointed into those positions came from backgrounds other than the membership of our own party. So the party went for the best. The matters of security are key, were key, they are still key to us. As I said, protection for party members and the party leadership was very important to us. We needed to look beyond the party register, and we got people who could do the job, and they got it right.
So, Mr. Garba, in the appointment of a DG of the SSS, are you saying that you looked at competence and you are not bothered about other things that might be a distraction to him in the carrying out of his responsibility? Like his sympathies to relatives, to people from his communities, or sympathies to your party?
No, I don't think he himself is distracted in any way. This man is a focused gentleman. As I told you earlier on, he held the security of the State House in his hands for many, many years. And he got it right because there were never the kind of breaches that you used to see in Dodam barracks. He excelled. So therefore, he merits the job, he merits the position, and the president gave it to him. Okay. That is the most important thing. Is our president safe? Is the Secret Service working for the country? I think that should be the most important thing for the people of Nigeria.
I know you said you listened to the conversation we had with Olisa Metu. One of the things you said was that the PDP will support the president in the carrying out of his responsibility in the fight against corruption as far as it is done, that is according to due process. But let's come back to the issue of competence as against family distractions or affiliations to political parties. Would you now say that because someone is competent and is a blood relative of the president, we should go ahead and appoint all those people into different offices, even if they're related to the president, just because they are competent?
So long as the Constitution and the law of the country don't exempt them, so long as it is not in any way reprehensible morally, that means that the bar has not been lowered in order that they are accommodated.
But are you now saying that there are no other competent people around the country, that we have to stick to one location?
Appointments such as this one are then normally on the basis of recommendation. And the leaders are privileged to look at a long list, a fairly long list. I was looking at one positions for actually Assistant Commissioner of Police for some duty. And I saw 38 names on one sheet of paper, 1 to 38. So the president has a huge latitude of choice to make. And in his opinion, this man is the right man for the job. When he fails to do it right, that is when you have a problem. And for the love of it, can I go back to something you said?
Yes,
the PDP was prepared to support us on the war against corruption so long as we did this within the ambits of the law. Everything we are doing in the ambits of the law. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm not a prophet, I'm not a soothsayer. Mr. Mantu is going to eat his own words in the coming weeks and months. By the time the massive, massive corruption. Look, all of these oil tankers, some of them have been stranded on high seas, some of them have docked in Asia and Europe. They have been impounded out of respect for President Muhammad Buhari. All of the billions of US dollars held down now by banks in Europe and Asia. When the details begin to come out, PDP will be ashamed for a Nigerian to hold PDP membership card in this country.
Let me read this to you about the position of the INEC chairman, because some of the arguments that those who think that she ought not to be there, as INEC chairman say, they quote section 160. They say, section 160 says, 161, subject to subsection 2 of this section, any of the bodies may, with the approval of the president by rules or otherwise, regulate its own procedure or confer powers and impose duties on any officer or authority for the purpose of discharging its functions, provided that in the case of provided that in the case of the Independent National Electoral Commission, its powers to make its own rules or otherwise regulate its own procedure shall not be subject to the approval or control of the president. They say that that letter alone that was written that she assumed responsibility is interference. And the fact that they moved who the chairman of INEC, the outgone chairman of INEC, had handed over to is interfering in the internal affairs of the commission, which is an admin procedure. They think that the president ought not to have done that.
Well, let me say this. Unless PDP was a hater of women, I would think that this woman who was called in to hold this office for perhaps barely a month, her time is up now. She's just holding that position pending the appointment of a new INEC chairman. I would have thought that they would have said that this is affirmative action by a president who wants to promote women. Now, going back to what you just read now, if it's a bad law, it's been there before. So who is to blame? Is it Buhari who just came? Why didn't they complain when the thing was there earlier than now? If it's a bad law, change it. It's not Buhari's fault. It's not the poor lady's fault. That's my point.
They said the president has violated the law by interfering in the affairs of INEC chairman.
I said if the president should not have done that and the law permits it, then change the law.
All right.
But the president, and in any case, the situation subsisted earlier than now. Why is nobody complaining?
All right, I'm afraid we'll have to go. Really sorry about it, Garba Shehu, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
Thank you very much, you guys. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.